Saturday, December 10th, Teofimo Lopez is back in action at 140 pounds. Second fight at the weight class. Now, originally we thought we were going to see him step in there against Jose Pedraza, but around mid-November, Pedraza steps out and in steps Sandor Martin. Now, look, Sandor Martin isn't a big name guy. Not a lot of people know him. I think he only had one fight over here in America, right? The rest were, he was just a regional fighter, a local fighter. Comes over here, biggest fight of his life, fights Mikey Garcia. Huge upset and comes out with the victory. Now, look, I'll be the first to admit that was not Mikey Garcia at his prime. I've been a Mikey Garcia fan for a long time. I've seen him move up the ranks. I've seen him continue to win. One of the things that always impressed me was his ring IQ. Right? The man is highly skilled. I mean, when you go out there and watch him, he's not the most athletic guy. He's not known for his incredible hand speed or his incredible foot speed. He's not known as some like very slippery and elusive fighter because the way he uses his upper body movement. He's not known for being incredibly explosive. He doesn't have, I mean, could you see him going out there and dominating on the basketball court or something along those lines? And look, I don't say that to be negative about him. I actually mean that in a way to compliment his skills, right? Because there's a lot of guys who are such great athletes that they're able to cover up their skill deficiency against lesser fighters, right? They're able to go out there and because they're so great athletically, they're able to make mistakes and guys just can't take advantage of it because they're so quick, right? Or they're just able to do things that other people can't do. Think about a prime Roy Jones as the perfect example. The man was so incredibly athletically gifted that he could do things that were 100% technically incorrect, and some of the most skilled fighters in the world couldn't take advantage of it because he was just like otherworldly, man. He was just like on another level with what he was able to do. That's not Mikey Garcia by any stretch of the imagination, okay? That's the flip side. Mikey Garcia was in very skilled, very high ring IQ, knew how to do all kinds of things in there. Fighting far over his good weight class. Turns out he was towards the end of his career. But he goes in there against Sandor Martin. And your skills, in a lot of ways, never leave you. You can be 70 years old and you're still going to understand the game, right? That ring IQ never leaves you, even when your physical body is no longer able to execute on what you know because you're out of shape or you're old or whatever the case may be. So we got a Mikey Garcia who's coming in there. He's over his weight class, looking a little bit soft, probably wasn't training the way he's supposed to, not dedicated, not focused, whatever the case may be, but he's still dangerous. And Sandor Martin is able to go out there as a complete underdog, unknown, unheralded, and he put it on Mikey Garcia, man. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. What he did in that fight, I mean, he really stepped up. I mean, he was under the brightest light of his career, biggest fight, coming over the pond as they like to, or across the pond as they like to say, and just showed up big time. Showed that he knows he's patient, that he's got very good ring IQ himself. Shows that he knows how to use a jab. He can change the distance to be a little bit deceptive. He can fight going forward. He can fight going backwards. He's got like a really good check right hook that he uses as a counter. He can go to the body well. There was times in there where Mikey Garcia was trying to press him against the ropes, and he was able to hit him with check right hooks coming in, slip a shot, and on his way out, rolling off of the ropes, he would land a body shot and a head shot coming out, right? Like a quick little left hook, like a quick little straight left to the body, and then a right hook up top as he's circling off of the ropes. Dude, just beautiful stuff. Just great stuff against a guy like Mikey Garcia. Now, when I look at all that, it's a perfect example of one of those fighters that is pretty good, that is pretty skilled, but you never heard of him. Just over there in Spain the whole time, or fighting over in Europe and different things. Anyways, he steps in on short notice against Teofimo Lopez. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to give Teofimo Lopez trouble. He is going to give him trouble, right? Teofimo Lopez is a guy who's incredibly athletically gifted, just blowing the doors off of people at 135 pounds because he's so fast, so powerful. He's coming out there. He's willing to be aggressive. He's willing to counter you. He's at his best when guys are coming forward, when guys are being aggressive, when guys are trying to make things happen, and he's just able to pick his spots, dude, and he's in a flow, and he can come with the straight right hand. he'll come forward in the way that he shifts his body position on shots to get leverage on other ones. Just very creative in the ring. I mean, we've seen the jumping left hooks. We saw what he did to Diego Magdaleno. We saw the vicious right hand that he caught Richard Comey with, right? We saw the absolute apex of his skills to date when he stepped in there against Vasily Lomachenko, right? The way that he was able to go to the right hand with the body early, the way that he was able to negate the angles that Lomachenko works by working those his own angles, almost like mirror images of him, to stop Lomachenko from being able to get those deep cuts. I mean, it was a beautiful performance. And not only that, he implemented a very good game plan by jumping on him early and doing all those things. So great work. But then he goes in there and he loses to Kambosos. And we all know about the injury that he suffered. Okay, but I want to say one thing besides that. As I'm sure that was powerful. I'm sure that it played a role in his performance. I'm sure that there was a lot of things. But I think there's something more to the story. And that more to the story is that Teofimo Lopez isn't versatile. I don't think he has the ability to make adjustments in fights. I think he gets frustrated when his game plan isn't working. And I think that when he does that, he just tries to force stuff, right? He's run over so many guys for so long, and he's done such great work with that speed and that power and that athleticism, coming over the top with the right hand, trying to catch guys with the big left hook. Just trying to shut down a jab and come over the top. He's done that so much, and it's been so well, and he's been able to bail himself out of trouble at times in the past that's what he goes to. And when it doesn't work, he didn't really have the ability to do more, And then, man, his corner with his pops, obviously he ain't doing him any favors with the advice that he's giving him. So just a whole lot of things going on there. On top of that, I think people have spoken all over the place about his mental health issues. He's even spoken about it, right? Anxiety, maybe self-confidence issues, all these types of things. And I do think that plays into it in the sense that if he goes out there and the game plan doesn't work, he starts to not see the success that he expected to see. He starts to run into a little bit more resistance than he thought. How's he going to react to that? Is his self-confidence going to take a hit? Is he going to start to take flashbacks to what was going on in that Kambosos fight when he felt like things weren't working? I mean, if he goes out there and he expects to be dominant and he's not, what happens? If he expects to land that right hand and instead he's missing it and he's getting countered, what's going to happen? We both know it ain't going to be that his pops is going to be out there giving him solid advice, telling him what to do. He's going to be out there telling him, run through this guy. What are you doing? Land the right hand. Be aggressive. He's just going to go out there and he's going to say some cheerleader type stuff, not pointing him in the right direction. So look, it's going to be interesting because when you look at his fight again, I mean, a few things here, right? He's moving up. He's at 140 pounds for a second fight now. I don't think he's a real 140 pounder, at least not yet. I mean, he was really big at 135, and we saw what that power was able to do. And yeah, you look and you say, oh, okay, well, he was able to get Campa out of there in his last fight at 140 pounds. So maybe that means the power translates. I dispute that. Go back and look at that fight and look at how many just clean, ferocious shots Teofimo Lopez was catching Campa with early in that fight. Campa ate them all. I mean, of course, eventually they're going to add up. They're going to break you down over a long enough period of time. But I feel like if that would have been the normal 135-pound guys that Lopez was facing, and he was able to land that many shots, that clean, that early in the fight, it would have ended a lot earlier. That fight would have been over a lot earlier than it ended up being. So I don't think that this power is going to translate. I don't think he's going to be able to come up to 140 pounds and bully guys. I don't think that he's going to be able to discourage people from what they're doing by landing a quick, hard counter shot, the way that he was able to do it at 135 pounds. And I think that's going to be a big game changer for him. I think what he does really well. But that might be what we end up saying, right? That he's not able to adapt, or he's not able to do this, he's not able to do that. So Campa was there, man. Styles make fights, and Campa was just there to be caught. He wanted to be aggressive. He wanted to have this high work rate, which opens up a lot of countering opportunities. Teofimo was there, man. He was able to take advantage of it. He was able to remain calm. He was able to pick his shots and be patient. Exactly what he was supposed to do. Got backed up times here or there, land a quick shot, get out of there. All really good stuff. That's not even going to be close to the case when he's fighting Sandor Martin, right? Because Martine is a guy who's able to change the distance. Martine is a guy who's able to set traps. Martine is a guy who's going to be patient and attempt to draw you out at times. He's got a really quick, really good jab of his own. He's fighting out of that southpaw stance. He's throwing that right jab. What's Teofimo going to do? Is he going to come over? Is he going to try and take that away with a check hook? Is he going to try to take that away with a sharp right hand and work an angle? I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting because, like I said, Martine is good. He's got a very high ring IQ himself. He's going to be able to see those things coming. He's going to set traps himself. He understands how to back up half steps. He understands how to go forward. He understands how to counter when you're coming forward if you want to be aggressive. Dude, I think he's going to throw some wrinkles at Teofimo Lopez that he's not expecting. I think he's going to make this fight far more difficult than a lot of people are expecting. You know, I've seen these odds change. Lopez opened up, it was like, I don't know, minus 800, minus 900, something crazy along those lines. At this point, it's all the way down to like minus 650. That means a lot of money's coming in on Martine. That means there's some, or at the very least, it means there's some people that Vegas respects who are influential, who are putting a lot of money on Martine. I don't think he's going to get bowled over here, man. As a matter of fact, I think this fight, I'll start off by saying this. I think the fight goes the distance. Martine isn't known for having power. I don't think Lopez's power is going to translate really well to 140, and I don't think he's going to get a lot of shots off. I don't think he's going to be able to land the way he wants to. I don't think he's going to be able to dictate the pace and the action. I think there's going to be times when he's getting countered and he doesn't really know what to do. He's trying to get his counter shots off and they're not landing the way that he expects. He's trying to be aggressive and he's finding that Martine isn't there the way that he normally expects him to be. So I think now, over the course of the fight, I'd still think that Teofimo Lopez is going to figure out a way to come out with the victory. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. And if somehow, some way, Martine ends up coming out with a victory, I won't be shocked. I won't be shocked, man. I won't be shocked because I'm looking at this guy, I'm watching it, I'm breaking down the film, and I think that style and the way that he implements it has the potential to give Teofimo Lopez trouble. So although I'm coming out and I'm saying that when this is all said and done, I expect Teofimo Lopez to get his hand raised, I think this line is ridiculous. And there is no value in it. It's crazy. The only thing that I see potential value in, you could take the over it. It's over 8.5. You're probably going to get it at like minus 300, minus 320. You could take that the fight goes the distance at minus 220. I like both of those. I do think the fight goes the distance. I think there's going to be times where it looks like a chess match. Teofimo Lopez is going to look a little bit confused. That's where Martine is going to be able to kind of dictate things. But Lopez finds a way to get the victory. Where he goes after this, not quite sure. It'll be interesting to see what he says when he jumps on the mic, particularly if he has some trouble in this one and how he attempts to explain that. So, let me know what you guys think on this one. Am I seeing this all wrong? Am I giving Martine more credit than he deserves, thinking that he's going to be able to figure out a way to come out here and give Lopez some trouble? Is Teofimo Lopez, I've talked highly about this dude for a while. I think he's got incredible skills. But I just don't think he's going to be able to, I think there's always going to be something that seems to hold him back from reaching his true potential. But maybe I'm seeing it wrong, right? Maybe I'm seeing it wrong. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you think this one's going to turn out and what's going to be next for him.